welcome to my channel, and this particular video is about one of the very important national health programs concerning reproductive health and the ongoing one. So this is about RMNCH plus A. You face several questions from this, MCQs, Viva, even long questions. So it's very important from your point of view. So let's go along presentation. Well, I would like to quote Professor Mahmood Fatala, past president of the International Federation of Obstetrician and Gynecologists and a lifelong champion of women's health and human rights. What does Professor Fatala say? Professor Fatala observes, women are not dying because of untreatable diseases. They are dying because societies have yet to make the decision that their lives are worth saving. We have not yet valued women's lives and health highly enough. He further goes on to say, women are often treated as objects and not subjects. They are considered as means in the process of reproduction and as targets in the goal of fertility control. Pregnant women may be taken care of largely as means to get healthy children, and women are provided with family planning as a means to control population growth. Even saving mothers' lives may be justified as important for the lives of children because of the higher mortality of infants and children whose mothers have died. A case for girl education is made with the rationale that educated girls will make good mothers for our children in the future. And he comments, powerlessness of a woman is a serious health hazard. But with that, let's see how far in our country we have gone in addressing this situation. Well, the evolution in fact has begun with the CSSM program launched in the 90s for child survival and safe motherhood. And from that came on the Reproductive and Child Health Phase 1 that started from 97, lasted till 2005 to graduate into the Phase 2, which continued till 2012. Well, this very program of reproductive and child health lies at the heart of National Rural Health Mission, the means for major health system strengthening for improving the RCH outcomes. The RCH2 is a comprehensive sector-wide flagship program under the umbrella of the NRHM to deliver the targets for improved MNCH outcomes. When I say it's a flagship program, I mean in earlier days, the people used to send their fleets of ships for business purposes across the ocean, and one ship used to lead from the front, which used to carry the flag of that all the fleet of the ships representing it. So when we say a flagship program, we mean that is one of the leading programs under that particular programs. So this RCH2 aimed at reducing the social and geographical disparities in access to and utilization of quality reproductive and child health services. A range of proven evidence-based strategies adopted in core areas of maternal health, child health and family planning to achieve the desired reductions in key RCH2 and NRHM goals of MMR, IMR and total fertility rate is aimed at. The key principles that were incorporated in the second phase of RCH2 were that it moved on from a top-down approach to a bottoms-up. That is, earlier the goals to be achieved is set from the central level and that percolated to the community health workers at the end. But RCH2 had a paradigm shift that involved a goal estimation and objective setting at the community level, which were eventually conglomerated at different levels, moving from the village to the sub-center to the permanent health center to eventually the block and the district, and finally the state goals were set. And it moved away from one-size-fits-all design. The states were allowed to plan according to their own requirements. And it ensured a more expressive pro-poor focus, evolving a shared vision and a common program. That is a sector-wide approach. Coming to RMNCH plus A, it started in the 2013, aiming at improving the maternal and child health, and in their survival being central to the achievement of national health goals under the National Health Mission. The Sustainable Development Goals, particularly Goal 3, includes the focus on reducing maternal, newborn and child mortality. In the past years, innovative strategies evolved under the national programs to deliver evidence-based interventions to various population groups. So following the Government of India's Call to Action Summit, that is CAT Summit, in February 2013, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare launched this RMNCH plus A, that is reproductive, maternal, newborn, child plus adolescent health program. And it meant to influence the key interventions for reducing the maternal and child morbidity and mortality in the long run. The strategy were basically built upon the continuum of care concept and was holistic in design, encompassing all interventions aimed at reproductive, maternal, newborn, child and adolescent health under a broad umbrella and focusing on the strategic life cycle approach. As we go through the slides, we'll try to understand what is this continuum of care, what is this life cycle approach. The RMNCH plus A strategy promotes the links between the various interventions across all its thematic areas to enhance the coverage throughout the life cycle, that is from newborn to childhood to adolescence to the reproductive stage, and all these are meant for survival in India. So when we are talking about the strategic RMNCH interventions and mentioning continuum of care being a part of it, what we actually mean is, addressing both the dimensions of healthcare across all the life stages, that is the dimensions being when to address and where to address. The whens are about the stages of the life cycle, what interventions that we planned at each of these stages, and the where is what are the places where this care can be accessed or provided. So these together constitutes the continuum of care to be provided through the birth, the postnatal period, there is the newborn period, the childhood, the adolescence and the reproductive or pregnant period. If you look at this is one of the prominent posters of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare regarding RMNCH, where you can see the prominent addition of the adolescent component being added to the RCH, making it the RMNCH plus A, and also emphasizing on the life cycle approach to tackle the maternal, newborn and adolescent health issues. And all these are delivered currently to around 253 million adolescents across the country. And the main agendas covered under this adolescent health care that has been newly added involves taking care of the nutrition, addressing the non-communicable diseases in them, preventing the substance misuse, addressing the mental health needs, injuries and violence including gender-biased violence to be stopped, sexual and reproductive health to be taken care of. And for that, the WIPS, weekly iron and folic acid supplementation program, and awareness generation on nutrition and anemia in adolescents are mentioned. The plus sign, if you see RMNCH plus A, this plus focuses on inclusion of adolescence as a distinct life stage within the overall strategy, linking the maternal and child health to the reproductive health and other components like family planning, adolescent health, HIV management, gender issues, and preconception and prenatal diagnostic techniques to be more rational. Linking home and community-based services to facility-based services, ensuring linkages, referrals and counter-referrals between and among various levels of healthcare system to create a continuous care pathway and to bring an additive or synergistic effect in terms of overall outcomes and impact, along with intensification of activities at the high priority districts. That means those districts which are in greater need of these kind of healthcare measures, and expanding the focus on child development and quality of life. The RMNCH plus A basically addresses all these interventions through a 5x5 matrix. So what do I mean when I say a 5x5 matrix? Here 1-5 stands for the 5 stages of the life cycle where these interventions are planned. That is the life cycle stages. And these 5 life cycle stages are the reproductive health, the maternal health, the newborn health, the child health, and adolescent health. And the second 5 stands for each of these 5 stages to have high priority 5 interventions. So 5 into 5 matrix for high impact RMNCH plus A interventions to be implemented with high coverage along with ensured high quality. So make it clear, the 5x5 matrix is about the 5 stages of the life cycle, with each of these life cycle stages having 5 important interventions. And the key features involved includes the 5 high impact interventions across the 5 key life stages, and this to be attained by health system strengthening, by revamping the infrastructure, human resources, drugs and commodities being available, proper referral transport, and for this prioritization of investments, that is high priority districts, tribal blocks, marginalized populations in underserved areas, and also urban slums to be given priority. And all these to be monitored in an integrated fashion, which should be accountable through good governance, use of data, communitization and grievance redressal. Communitization is nothing but making the community participate and take ownership of the program, and that can go a long way in bringing long-standing changes in the social outlook. And all these to be achieved through convergence and partnerships, because only the Health and Family Welfare Department is not sufficient to ensure all these planned outcomes and carry out all these interventions. Hence, a convergence between other ministries and departments, development partners, civil society organization, and all other stakeholders are also incorporated in the RMNCH plus A. So let's look at the 5x5 matrix for high impact RMNCH plus A intervention in details. So you can see each of these life cycle stages has 5 interventions in each of them. Let's elaborate and let's learn it easy. So in the reproductive health, it is about focusing on spacing methods, particularly PP-IUCD at high case load facilities, focusing on interval IUCDs at all facilities including subcenters on fixed days, home delivery of contraceptives and ensuring spacing at birth through ASHAs, ensuring access to pregnancy testing kits, which are known as the Nishchay kits, and strengthening the comprehensive abortion care services while maintaining quality sterilization services. So these are the 5 interventions planned in the reproductive health stage. Let's see how we can remember it easy. So what we will do, we will remember the interventions under reproductive health is SHIPS, S-H-I-P-S, SHIPS. Here the S stands for spacing methods, that is postpartum IUCD insertion. H stands for home delivery of contraceptives and birth spacing. I stands for interval IUCDs, and P stands for pregnancy test kits, this is the Nishchay kits, and S stands for sterilization services. So that makes it easier for you to remember how to remember what are the 5 interventions under the first stage, that is the reproductive health. The second one is about maternal health. The 5 interventions here are using MCTS, the maternal and child tracking services, to ensure early registration of pregnancy and full antenatal care, detect the high-risk pregnancies and line listing, including the severely anemic mothers, and ensure their management, equip the delivery point with a highly trained HR, and ensure equitable access to EMOC services through FRUs, and reviewing the maternal, infant and child deaths for corrective actions, and identifying the villages with low institutional delivery and distribute misoprostol to select women during pregnancy to prevent the postpartum hemorrhages. So let's see, how do we remember the interventions here? The intervention here, the mnemonic is higher, H-I-R-2-E, higher. So maternal health, higher. How is it? H for high-risk pregnancy detection, I for identifying the villages with low institutional delivery and distributing misoprostol, R for registration early through MCTS, second R is for reviewing maternal, infant and child death, and the last E is for equitable access to EMOC services. Hope this helps you in remembering these interventions under each of these health life stages, because these are very important from the point of view. Now coming to the third stage of the life cycle. There is a newborn here. The interventions are early initiation and exclusive breastfeeding, home-based newborn care through ASHA, essential newborn care and resuscitation services at all delivery points, special newborn care units with highly trained human resource and other infrastructure, community level use of gentamicin by AIM. So what is the mnemonic here? It is about Be Huge. So Be Huge is about B for breastfeeding, H for home-based care of newborns, U for units for special newborn care, G for gentamicin use at community level by ASHA, E for essential newborn care and resuscitation at all delivery points. So what are the interventions under the newborn health? Is a Be Huge. Now coming to the fourth one, there is a child health. Here the interventions planned are complementary feeding, including IFA supplementation and focusing on the nutrition, diarrheal management at the community level using ORS and zinc, management of pneumonia, full immunization coverage, and Rashtriya Bal Swasth Karyakram, that is RBSK, for screening of children for the 4 Ds. What are the 4 Ds? Birth defect, developmental delay, deficiencies, and diseases in them. So let's see how we remember this. The mnemonic in child health is DRIP N. So what are these? D for diarrheal management using ORS and zinc, R for Rashtriya Bal Swasth Karyakram, I for immunization coverage, P for pneumonia management, N for nutrition focus with complementary feeding and IFA supplementation. And the last one, The newest addition is the adolescent health, and the interventions underneath this are addressing the teenage pregnancy and increasing the contraceptive prevalence in adolescents, introducing community-based services through peer educators. Peer educators are no one but the friends known to them, their same age group, girls who can or who are aware of this and can communicate to them in a better fashion about their different reproductive health needs. Strengthen the ARSH clinics, that is the Adolescent Reproductive and Sexual Health Clinics. Roll out the National Iron Plus initiative, including weekly iron folic acid supplementation, and promote the menstrual hygiene. So what is the mnemonic here? It is AMP. That is AMP square I. AMP. A for ARSH clinics, M for menstrual hygiene. First P stands for pregnancy addressal and contraceptive prevalence. Second P stands for peer educators for community-based services. And I stands for IFS supplementation. So along with all these interventions and addressed at the various life cycle stages, it is important there are certain interventions for the health system strengthening. So what are these? These are case-based deployment of human resource at all levels, ambulances, drugs, diagnostics, reproductive health communities availability, health education, demand promotion, and behavioral and change communication, supportive supervision and use of data for monitoring and review, including scorecards, public grievance redressal mechanism, client satisfaction and patient safety through all-round quality assurance. And along with addressing the cost-cutting intervention, which involves bringing down out-of-pocket expenses by using various free entitlements, auxiliary nurse midwives, ANMs and nurses to provide specialized quality care to pregnant women and children, address social determinants of healthy through convergence, focus on unserved and underserved villages, urban slums and blocks, is prioritizing, introducing the difficult area and performance-based incentives so that the health workers are more motivated in reaching to this inaccessible. Now let's look at the matrix for high impact RMSH interventions and the list of minimum essential commodities needed in each of these states. In the reproductive health, the commodities needed are tubal rings, IUCDs, OCPs, condoms, emergency contraceptive pills, pregnancy testing kits. At the maternal health, the injection oxytocin, tablet misoprostol, injection magnesium sulfate for addressing toxemia pregnancy, tablet mifepristone. In facilities conducting safe abortion services. In newborn health, availability of injection vitamin K, mucus extractors, vaccines for all applicable under the National Immunization Schedule. In the child health, availability of ORS, zinc sulfate dispersible tablets for diarrheal management, syrup salbutamol and salbutamol nebulizing solution in cases of respiratory infections, vaccines as per the age group and as per the National Immunization Schedule, and vitamin A syrups for acting as supplement to prevent night blindness and xerophthalmia. In the adolescent health, tablet albendazole for deworming, tablet dicyclomine for abdominal pains, and sanitary napkin availability for ensuring proper menstrual hygiene. So the cross-cutting commodities as per level of facilities are IFAs, both normal and small tablets, syrups, paracetamol, trimethoprim, sulfamethoxazole, chloroquines, dexamethasone injection, antibiotics, digital thermometers, weighing machines, BP apparatus, stopwatches, cold boxes, vaccine carriers, and the basic testing facilities. So the adolescent health strategy is basically for enabling the adolescent to take informed decision for their well-being. That is the basic vision of this program. And the objectives under this are for ensuring mental and emotional well-being, sexual and reproductive health care, violence-free living, prevention of substance misuse, healthy and disease-free lifestyle, and of course improved nutritional status. So to address this, as we have already discussed, various interventions are planned, in particular in adolescents, that involve strategic partnerships, community-based approach, healthy promotion for healthy community, and strengthened clinical services to address. So how will we remember what are the basic strategies? There are 7 C's. One C is for the coverage. That is in the A+, there is adolescent strategy incorporated. We will be covering the 10 to 14 and 15 to 19 years, girls and boys, both married and unmarried, in rural and urban areas, in school and out of school. The content is about their nutrition, their sexual and reproductive health, mental health, injuries, substance misuse, non-communicable diseases. In the community, it is about the educational institutes at the home level, in the teen clubs, the workplaces, vocational training institutes, all to be taken into account. The clinics, the healthcare can be accessed by these adolescents through the primary health centers, community health centers, that is the block primary health centers, the district health hospitals and medical colleges. The communication to be addressed through mass media, outdoor media, events organized at different locations, internet-based platforms and printed materials, counseling through peer educators, teachers, counselors, and even through telephone helplines. And the convergence is of course between the Department of Education, Women and Child Development, Youth Affairs, NGOs, public-private partnerships, all stakeholders, along with the Department of Health and Family. So in the Adolescent Reproductive and Sexual Health Program, there is ARSH. You'll often come across this acronym. Routine checkup at primary, secondary and tertiary levels are incorporated on fixed days. There is promotive, preventive, curative and counseling management of menstrual problems, which is approached through facility-based health services, counseling and community-based interventions. And it involves adolescent-friendly health clinics, facility-based counseling services regarding nutrition, puberty, STI prevention, contraception, abortion services, sexual abuse prevention, substance misuse prevention, addressing mental health problems, and outreach activities to be accessed in schools, colleges, through the village health nutrition days. One of the major component in this is the weekly iron and folic acid supplementation or WEAVS. It is meant to reduce the incidence of anemia among the adolescent girls and boys. The goal is to break the intergenerational cycle of anemia by approaching early in the life cycle phase. The interventions involve supervised weekly iron folic acid supplements. There is 100 mg iron and 500 microgram of folic acid. Screening of the target groups, biannual deworming along with information and counseling. In the menstrual hygiene scheme, there is promotion of this among the adolescent girls aged 10 to 19 years in the rural areas with primary focus. The activities involving community-based health education and outreach, ensuring there is regular availability of sanitary napkins, storage and distribution of sanitary napkins, training of ASHA and nodal teachers in menstrual health so that they can orient the adolescents better, safe disposal of sanitary napkins for better hygiene. So the summary impact model in supportive policies for RMNCHPSA involves interventions through all these phases of pre-pregnant, pregnant, childbirth, postnatal, childhood and adolescent by approaching through multi-sectoral policies in collaboration with the health sector policies, leading to reduced mortality and improved health and nutrition for women and children across their life cycle. So the current RMNCHA targets has MMR as 122 and as per the National Health Policy, it should be 100 by 2020, and as per the Sustainable Development Goal 2030, it has to be lowered below 70. The neonatal mortality rate is aimed at less than 12 by 2030 and 16 by 2025, and currently it is 23. Regarding IMR, it is 33 and aimed at lowering below 30, and 28 by 2019 as per the previous goals. And under 5 mortality rate, it is currently 37 and the aim is to lower it below 25 by 2025. And the total fertility rate is currently 2.2 and the aim is to bring it down to the replacement level fertility. The key challenges in providing supportive supervision are inadequate numbers of supervisors within the system, restricted mobility of supervisors constraining the field supervision, lack of supportive skills due to lack of training, absence of authority to ensure compliance, vertical programs with vertical supervision leading to fragmentation, no clear guidelines for supportive supervision, and absence of supportive supervision properly in place. So the various systems of monitoring and evaluations include in this particular program the civil registration system, that is all efforts are being made to ensure 100% registration of births and deaths, web-enabled mother and child tracking system which I talked of earlier, that is the MCTS, for tracking every pregnant woman, infant and child up to the age of 3, the maternal death review or MDR. The purpose of this review is to identify the causes of the maternal deaths and the gaps in service delivery in order to undertake corrective actions. The Health Management Information System or HMIS based monitoring and review is needed for accurate, relevant and timely data furnishing. So in 2008 this was initiated and it has a scorecard. And the scorecard refers to two distinct but related management tools. And what are these tools? One of them is the HIMS-based dashboard monitoring system, and the second is the survey-based child survival scorecard. So let's look at this. So in the scorecard, in the pregnancy period, the first trimester registration, the 3 antenatal checkups, 100 IFA consumption throughout the pregnancy period, obstetric complications, if any and if attended, both the tetanus toxoid injections, if taken or not, are taken as indicators at this stage. In the childbirth, the SB attending the home deliveries, institutional delivery percentage, cesarean section percentage are used as indicators, while in the postnatal care there is the newborn and the child health. It is about the newborns, breastfed within the first hour, women discharged in less than 48 hours, newborns weighing less than 2.5 kg, newborn visited within 24 hours of home delivery, and 0 to 11-month-old receiving measles vaccine are the HMIS indicators. And in the reproductive age group, it is the postpartum sterilization to total female sterilization, male sterilization to total sterilization. That's the proportion. IUD insertions in public and private accredited institutions are taken as indicators across all the life cycles, and these are scored. Regarding the different missions and surveys, the annual joint review mission by RCH division and common review missions under NRHM, the concurrent evaluation process leads to ensuring that the progress against the targets and indicators are proper. The sample registration system, the National Family Health Survey, the district level household survey and annual health service, they also provide important health data which is used to undertake specific planning in the specific areas. So how does this hierarchy takes place? These all facilities of RMNCH are delivered at the health facilities, that is the level 1, 2 and 3, that is the sub-center, primary health center and block primary health centers, and moves on to the district level monitoring, then to the district health department, then moves on to the state RMNCH plus A unit, state health department, national RMNCH plus A unit, along with development partners, and of course the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare of our country. So this is how they remain interconnected. If you see the flow diagram, you will see how each of these are interconnected. There are rapid program assessments that are conducted that makes use of leveraging technologies by using GIS maps and databases and GPS for tracking, ambulances and mobile health units, mobile phones for real-time data entry, and of course video conferencing for regular review. So now that we are done with this, let's see in this particular sector what are the basic questions asked. When was RMNCH Plus A launched? What is the continuum of care approach? What are the 5x5 matrix for high impact RMNCH Plus A interventions, which you should remember the mnemonics? What is ARSH? Any queries? Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Of course, subscribing is totally free. So go ahead with it. It's really motivating for me to keep on uploading academic contents for betterment of all you students. So thank you so much for this patient listening. Happy study. Thank you.